Welcome to this hybrid meeting of Angus Council on the Thursday 24th of August 2023. I would remind all attendees that this meeting is being recorded and webcast live of the Council's YouTube channel. I have agreed the attendance of some members remotely and would remind all remote attendees to mute their microphones when not speaking. I also would like to remind members can they stay behind online and in this place for an unrelated matter? Thank you very much. We'll move on to apologies for absence.
Yes, Provost. An apology from Councillor Gregg and Councillor Louise Nicholl, sorry.
Thank you. Do we have any declarations of interest or statements of transparency? Councillor Cheap.
Yes, thank you, Provost. I would like to declare interest, obviously, in agenda item 3 and agenda item 5. As a director of Carnoustie Golf Links Management Limited, I will have to exclude myself from this meeting.
Sorry, thank you very much, Councillor Cheap. I'll let you leave now and remind maybe Councillor Meakin could go and ask Councillor Cheap to come back into the meeting for the unrelated matter at the end. Thank you very much. Right, we move on to number 3, Carnoustie Golf Hotel, assignation of hotel lease. And Jackie Buchanan will introduce this report.
Thank you, Provost. This report asks members to consent to the proposed transfer, which is known as an assignation, of the tenant's interest in the Carnoustie Golf Hotel lease from the current tenant, Mindflow Investments Limited, to Carnoustie Golf Links Properties Limited, and also for the transfer of 2 related agreements. This report looks for decisions only in relation to the hotel. It doesn't relate to Carnoustie Golf Links, so the terms of the golf course management agreement and the parties to that arrangement will remain unchanged. Under the terms of the lease, the council as landlord is obliged not to unreasonably withhold or delay its consent to an assignation in the case of a respectable and responsible assignee of sound financial standing. Therefore, the Council needs to consider the position of CGLPL as an assignee, and in particular whether this company is a respectable and responsible assignee of sound financial standing. The Council's specialist external advisors have carried out due diligence and an assessment of this company. On the basis of their findings and assessment, CGLPL meets the legal test as per the terms of the hotel lease of being respectable and responsible and of sound financial standing. And it's recommended that the Council, in its capacity as landlord under the lease, grants consent to the assignation and also grants consent to the ancillary agreements. In terms of the bigger picture, the Council has previously stated its strategic intent working with partners is to secure the return of the Open Championship at Carnoustie on a regular basis. The acquisition of the hotel ground lease by CGLMC's investor, albeit in a legal sense completely separate from the management agreement for Carnoustie Links, nonetheless represents an important step towards the potential delivery of the Council's strategic intent and all of the economic benefits for Carnoustie and Angus which flow from that. Happy to take any questions, Provost.
Any questions? Comments at this point in time? No, thank you. Now, the appendices within this report, it's Councillor Brace, and it will be confidential, Councillor Brace, yeah? The part is not to do with the appendices. Do you want me to?
No, it was just to make a comment.
Yes, okay, that's fine.
Of this meeting that we did have a thorough briefing prior to this meeting, and that's maybe why there haven't been any questions thus far.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor Brace. Now, the appendices within this report are exempt. Does any member have any questions pertaining to these appendices? And if so, we would have to go and exclude press and public. Does anyone have any questions on the appendices? Okay, that's fine, thank you. Do you agree that these appendices are exempt? Is that agreed? Great, okay. So we can now move on to any questions and comments that others would have to the stuff that is in the public domain. Any questions or comments to these? Thank you. No, that's fine. So are the recommendations below agreed? Oh, sorry, Councillor Meakin. And Councillor Proctor as well. My apologies.
Sorry, I was just pointing at Councillor Proctor.
Right. Councillor Proctor.
Thank you very much, Provost. I'd just like to make a comment, if I may. And all I'd like to do is thank all the officers who've put these papers together and all the information. The meeting earlier on was very informative. However, many of the questions that were asked were actually, the answers were contained in the green paper. And I do thank the officers, Mrs. Buchanan and her team, for putting it together. It's very informative, and I think it gives us a clear head of what direction we should vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Proctor. Anyone else got a further comment to make? With that in mind, are the recommendations in this report agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Can we stop the live stream, please, John?